Welcome guys to another trade breakdown video. It has been a while and we're switching up today. So what we're going to do is we're going to break it down from a liquidity trade instead of a price action trade, right? Inside the community, there was a lot of questions about how I use liquidity in my strategy and how I implement liquidity trading on EU. That's the pair that I'm predominantly trading when I am trading liquidity. For the rest of the pairs, I use it as an extra confidence for my bias and as an extra confirmation. So on EU, predominantly I use liquidity trading. And why? Because it's quite slow pair, right? It's not that fast as GJ and gold is the highest liquid forex pair to trade. So zones getting respected a lot. So yeah, that's why I switched more to liquidity trading, and that's also why I'm educating you guys in the members chat and in the premium section regarding liquidity trading more now. So let's dive into the charts and let's look at this position. So first, I'm going to establish my higher time frame structures, right? The higher time frame structures on the daily is that it's pretty bullish at the moment. If you go to the lower time frames, again, I will go further in detail inside the premium section, right? So for now, it will be a little bit global. But from here on, it's pretty bearish at the moment, at that time, and the 1 hour was bearish as well. So we're going to zoom in on a trade I took this Friday, right? I called it out in the chat as well, so everybody could have profited from it. So what I'm doing from the 1 hour, I'll jump straight down to the 15-minute, which I use for my day trading strategy. Important when I use this, it's from the higher to the lower time frames, right? Structures are all in point, right? We have two higher time frame structures that are bearish and one is bullish. So we are more looking at the bearish side now. So what happens? We are looking at impulses and bounces, right? So what I see is an impulse to the downside. I see a couple of impulses. We have impulse one, it's from here to here, right? We have another impulse. We have a bounce here actually, then another impulse down, boom, bounce, impulse, bouncing around, consolidation, boom, impulse. So this was caused by news and all that, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use a rectangle to mark up my zones. So first, let's look at this chart. If I look at this chart, right, and we're looking bearish, which are the zones that I want to use? This is a zone I would use. This is a zone that I would use. Boom. And this is a zone that I would use at the time for bearish price action. Okay. And why these zones? Because these zones are all responsible for break of structure, right? I call them bosses. Okay. A break of structure is essentially an impulse, right, that breaks previous price points. So for instance, this one here is a boss. You can mark it up as this one. Boom. This one is a boss as well. Boom. Mark it up as a boss. Here we are. Boom. And here we have another break of structure. All right. So I'm going to trade it, right? Well, we traded at the lower time frame. So I will go to the lower time frames. I'm going to show you what I see, right? It didn't work in the beginning. So let's go to the lower time frames. You look at the 5 minute and you look at the 1 minute. You can see there are some refined zones on top of there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to the lower time frames, mark out those zones, look if there's any possibility for me to get into a position right there. Well, I do like this zone right there. So let's move it up a little bit. Boom. This is a free zone. Why it's valid, I'm not going to tell you in this video. You can all check that out inside of the Discord. But from here onwards, I would like to take a trade. You can just put an order on, right? So what I did at first time that it came in, I would like it to break structure again. Well, my first entry did fail because my first entry was in here. After he broke this level here, boom, to the lows, I put an order on the stop. Boom. SL came in here. 2.7 pips, and I got wicked out, unfortunately. So yeah, that wasn't the greatest. I was expecting this to push down now, and it did not work. So what happened afterwards? Afterwards, we broke that area, right? I took a loss there, 5%. Then we pushed up. Boom. Okay, what happened then? Then we got another confirmation. It was another break of structure, actually. But now we broke previous structure, so now it's an external break. You have internal and external breaks. An external break is an extra confirmation. So what I did, I put an order on the area who was responsible for that break, this one. And I called it out as well, live when it happened. That I put a sell order on, 2.5 pip SL, and here we go. Took profits at different levels, right? Took some partial off the table, and then left the rest to run. And as you see, in a pretty short period of time, I made more than 10 R on that position. If we zoom out a little bit, boom, right here, you can see how big that move was. It was huge, actually. So I held the trade all the way down to like the 18-hour position. So I'm risking 0.5%. You can do the math yourself, right? It's a 9% gain only on that position. And I closed it in full over there, right? I took my partials. I closed it in full here. Just to remind you that you can hold some runners as well. Boom, would be like a 1 to 30x trade. All right. And that is the power of liquidity trading compared to price action trading. With liquidity trading, you can trade consolidating markets, you can trade trending markets as well, preferably trending, of course, because you have those kind of opportunities. The risk to reward is always good, right? But price action trading is how I trade it personally. You have 1-to-1, take some partials and leaving the rest to run. So you can have a lot of setups on a day, right? But if you feel like a couple of times in a day, let's say you have 2 losses and you lose like around 2%, that isn't the biggest problem, but you need to rebuild it day on day on day, right? With this strategy, you can have just 3-4 losing days, have 1 good winning day, and all those losses will be erased. And that's the most beautiful thing on liquidity trading, I guess. On top of that, right, we have a discount on our community for this month. So you could join for the 50% off price. Only in May. The free Discord is closed now, so there's only a premium section. All right, guys. So sign up. I can teach you how to take this trade yourself, and I will do some more reviews very soon. Enjoy your Sunday, people. Ciao.